is here in the beautiful setting of the Thornton Winery in Temecula, California. We speak exclusively with world-renowned musician and recording artist Jonathan Butler. I'm Michael Reel, and this is ReelUrbanNews.com.
Losing your way and feeling it strange. Everything but what's right occupies and weighs on your mind. Yeah. Reaching for help.
So I think I know why you're here. Because you want to have a good time? And you want to feel real good? Well then, please welcome Soul of Summer!
Talk about your wonderful album, Grace and Mercy.
Right. Well, you know, it's exactly what it means. Grace and mercy. When I look back over my life and I see what God did and has done. I'm married 30 years. I have a grandchild. We have grown kids. We've now lived in the States for over 15 years. We've lived outside of South Africa for almost 28 years and still going strong. And you know, and it's just, the album is really just a way that I've wanted to reach the body of Christ as well, and just to encourage the body of Christ to just to know that God cares, and you know, grace is given to us freely, and so is mercy. And so it's a record that really kind of touches on a lot of personal things that I've gone through, that kind of shares that within the album. You know? Yeah.
You've been recording for decades.
Yes.
When did this all start for you?
I started recording when I was probably in 1974. I started recording, making records.
Sure.
But before that, I was just performing, you know, local, traveling concerts, cabaret, Broadway type shows. Carnival in South Africa was a very big thing as part of our culture, is to be in the part of the carnival in Cape Town. And you know, that's tradition. And so I grew up with traditional music, with the jazz, with popular music from England, but local folk music, African folk music, was at the core of my heart.
When we talk about South Africa, we know you grew up under apartheid.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
Well, I mean, you know, you still experience it today in many ways. You know, people learn to hate. You know, people, but they can also, as Mandela said, they can also learn to love. And so I grew up under what was called a police state. You know, and that's segregation, and that's in your face. So I grew up in a society where that was everywhere you looked. And but it was awesome that how music was able to, just like water, rich people and change their lives and change their perspective. Especially mine was changed when I became a born-again Christian. My perspective of life completely changed. And so apartheid was definitely a difficult. It was an evil. It was an evil idea.
Sure.
So it had to, good overcame that evil.
Sure.
Because of people like Mandela, Walter Sisulu, Thabo Mbeki, even presidents like the president before Nelson Mandela declared, he came to his senses and realized that they were going down the wrong road. And so the country's better. The country's better. We are better.
Talk about your relationship with Nelson Mandela. I know you've grew up under his leadership. You've sung for him.
Yeah. Well, growing up in South Africa under the apartheid system, a lot of the political leaders were not to be discussed or to even be mentioned in newspapers or even literature. So you had to get information about who these leaders were, especially the ANC. That was a non-subject in many different pockets of the society because of fear of of the what might happen.
Right.
So, but when I got a chance to speak to the president and sing for him, I learned that my music had such an impact on him, and he said on all of them in prison, and that gave hope. That was part of they had times where they would play radio stations in Robben Island, and they would discuss us, our music, and whether some were political and some were not political. And of course, my view was more a view of love. That was my vehicle. My vehicle was my weapon was love. And music.
When we look at your music and we look at the musical landscape, you are truly a world artist, which is a term we've which has kind of become a part of the lexicon now.
Yeah.
But genuinely, you are a world artist because you write about the world. Talk about that responsibility of being a world and global artist.
Well, it's very tough especially in the music industry, where in an industry where they want to pigeonhole you in everything. They want to box you and package you, and you're the formula, you Babyface, or you're formula this, you Elton John. They put you in a formula, but when you're an artist that's a world artist, you got to break down all of these barriers along the way, and you just got to stay your ground. And I've had to sort of stand my ground and realize that I'm doing something that is uniquely from a different place. I'm from Africa, so my music, first of all, that's really at the core of who I am. But I had to get through a lot of blocks in the road because, like I said, the industry was not like the industries today, a little bit more open to accept Jonathan Butler as a world artist. I've always cried out like John in the Wilderness, hey man, listen, I'm a world artist. I'm not just an R&B singer or jazz musician. I am all of those things in one, and I love all of those things in one. Wake up somebody and just understand that this is who I am. So I think it's not easy. If you're like Angela Kidjo, she's a world artist.
Sure.
But in R&B, probably not as known. And R&B, as maybe Erykah Badu or artists like that. So there's Richard Bonner, who's from Cameroon. There's Yuma Sikela. I think Mary Makiba. There's a lot of artists today that I feel we've come a long way in terms of pushing, breaking the barriers of that kind of thing where you please don't put me in a box, And I'm, as an artist, I'm constantly evolving and reinventing, recreating, and digging up the soil for wisdom, for that thing that keeps me going, So I write with younger people, and I just finished a Christmas album. I just finished my next album for next year. So people got to be surprised when they hear that. They're like, "Oh my God, this guy's what is he doing now?"
Right.
But part of the your sustainability in the business is to reinvent yourself.
Sure.
Recreate rediscover something new about yourself, and always raise people's eyebrows in a good way.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Continually to reinvent yourself. I wish we had more time, but we'll pick it up on the next CD.
Okay.
Jonathan Butler, thank you for being with us.
You're welcome. I'm going to do a song from my gospel CD that debuted at #1 on the Billboard R&B, on the jazz chart. I can't believe it. God has a sense of humor, believe me. And it's debuted at #1 on the contemporary jazz chart, and here's the song called Don't Walk Away. Losing your way and feeling it strange. Everything but what's right occupies and lays on your mind. Reaching for help, can't trust in yourself. Nowhere to turn but here right now, that you are afraid. One more time. God bless you. Thank you. Make some noise for the band. Elon Trust, one more time for Elon Trust. Jonathan Butler. 1, 2, 3, and more. How long will it take for you to be here and answer my call? I'm waiting for you. You know what to do. First, pay the cry, then you shout, then the praise. I'll make all